This is it, TV. Icon talk. Where the icons talk.
Now I must give you a trigger warning. This video is going to be graphic, and it may be very tough for some of you viewers to see, but it is completely necessary for you guys to get a picture of what this regime is doing to the citizens of this country. Watch.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my God!
Now, I'm sure this video is all over social media. It's everywhere and anywhere. The regime has sent out all its spokespersons, including the wannabe dictator, to tell lies and to classify the woman that was shot and, may I add, killed in this video. They are now classifying her a domestic terrorist. The truth of the matter is, this lady was protesting the presence of ICE in her city of Minnesota. This is a lawless regime that is now waging war, not just on foreign lands, but on its own citizens. If you look at this video again, the ICE agents accost this lady. She attempts to drive away, right? The officer who shot into the vehicle, from the angle on the video, appeared out of nowhere, right? Because he wasn't in the original frame of the two officers that engaged the driver. The officer who fired into the vehicle approached the vehicle from in front of the vehicle, and that is very important to understand the context of why this is bloody murder. Now, you may not recognize it anymore. You may not know this. But this is still a nation of laws with adjudicable standards, rules, norms, and laws that are sworn to by public servants, including law enforcement officers. Your right as a United States citizen on this land allows you the opportunity, if you are not under arrest, and if you're not suspected of a crime, and if you're not being detained, to walk, run, and drive away from an officer and not allow him to detain you in your place or person. That is your right. So unless the lady was being arrested or being detained or suspected of being a criminal, she had all right to drive away from that scene. There are two instances within which an officer is allowed to fire into a moving vehicle. In the case of a fleeing felon, where the person who is trying to escape is a known felon and he poses a danger to not just the officer but the general public, then the officer is allowed to discharge his weapon into that car that's moving away. Secondly, if the person who is driving the car is attempting to use the car to harm or hurt the officer or a member of the general public, and the officer, let's be very careful with this continuation, and the officer is reasonably unable to get out of the way of the vehicle, then he shall discharge his weapon. And if you look at this video, it clearly shows that the officer was at the side of the vehicle when he discharged his weapon. He was in no immediate danger of being hit by this young woman. So the fact that he had the audacity to discharge his weapon 3 times, where the law clearly states you use reasonable force in an attempt to stop the threat. So, for example, if someone is attacking a law enforcement officer, right, and he's running up to the officer, this is a scenario now, guys, stay with me. If he's running towards the officer with a machete, an axe, a knife, and the officer is able to discharge his weapon and step out the way, and the person runs past the officer, that should be where the officer ceases to discharge his weapon the minute the threat passes him by. So if the officer discharges their weapon 3, 4, 5 more times after the person has run past him, that, my dear sirs and madam, is a criminal act. In this video, you could clearly see the officer discharging his weapon from the side of that car into the window, hitting that young woman 3 times in the head. This regime's leadership and their untrained ICE officials are at war. They are at war with the American citizenry. And there's no other way to say this. It cannot be disguised. It cannot be reasoned over. It cannot be made any sense of. And the unfortunate thing is, someone lost their life. A family is without one of its members. The second unfortunate thing is, this sleazebag who runs this country has now ordained his workers and his subordinates to never show empathy, to never be humble. So you will not hear any one of the members of this regime come forward and say, what happened today was an unfortunate incident. We will conduct a full investigation, and we promise that if the laws were broken, if the officer subverted the policies of the Department of Homeland Security, we make a promise to the community and the family that we will pursue justice, which is the right thing to do. But you won't see that. You won't hear that. All you will hear is blaming the victim, because they are a reflection of their leader, who all his life has only blamed the victims, his victims. Rest in peace to that young lady. My condolences to the family. America, this is what you voted for. This is what you asked for. Because Joe Biden was too old and Kamala Harris was too black. God forbid she's a female. We must resist.
This is it TV. Icon Talk, where the icons talk.